We're going to talk a little bit about social capital. And the purpose of this study is to determine how schools are helping children develop social capital schools. More specifically, what are our leaders doing in schools? What are the principals doing to make certain that there are components in place, major structures to teach social capital skills within our children? What is social capital? Well, social capital is defined as the interaction and individual applications between a person's interaction with three capital sources, that is, cultural, economic, and social. Although we'll talk about this in greater detail at its core, social capital is defined as the quality in which individuals create meaningful relationships with desired intention of improving their quality of life, how they are navigating their environment and allowing their social interactions and social circles to help them find success. Top researchers in the field all agree that social capital plays a major role in predicting academic performance in our urban public schools. Social capital development with at-risk youth within our urban school district could provide key missing links to help remedy decades of academic disparities between minority and at-risk students, depending on their Caucasian counterparts. Results show, Leanne, one of our researchers, suggests that results show that internal and external social capital are important elements of student achievement test scores in both reading, math, and are also important predictors of instructional quality. Researchers across the field all agree. Researchers like Burt, Clompton, Porters, Dicka, Leithwood, Ford, Goldman, Horvath, there are others that all agree. The literature also says that experiences with peers are not superficial luxuries to be enjoyed during lunch or after school. These are relationships that should be developed intentionally. We need to maximize how children see how the socialization and the maximizing of their growth and development is a part of school. It should be a part of a healthy school development. We're talking about the whole child education. So again, as we define social capital, we have to talk about how social capital can be used as the quality in which individuals create meaningful relationships between people. They establish resources, whereas human relationships become a part of their individual quality of life. And we are going to use a social capital framework, one that talks about how social capital environments can be put in place, such as the sociability, trust that is developed in a school. Relationships are important. We all know that, as well as helping children have a sense of belonging. Do they feel that they are engaged and a part of the school? Well, when you talk about what curriculum is in place and if the school environment matches such, we then come to a topic or a term that's called social cohesion. Do the two coincide and work together? So as we talk about social cohesion, we must have social cohesion in order for social capital to be taught and to be a viable source of impactful curriculum in a school. So examples within this framework that's being used is understanding that you can have low social capital as well as low social cohesion there in our top left box. You can also have low social capital curriculum, but you could have an environment that would support such. Again, that's better, but both must be in congruence. The bottom left box will show high social capital. Let's see, social capital would suggest supports connections and others for resources, leads to a clear purpose and increased engagement. But if the cohesion of such is not in place, lack of bonding will happen, recognition will be low, and your body doesn't quite follow what the mind wants it to do. But when both are aligned, our environment as well as the curriculum, you will have the bottom right box, which is high social cohesion as well as high social capital. That's what we're looking for. The methodology we are using within this study is qualitative. What I plan to do is I will investigate a school, and we will use a case study approach to do such. We will find a school that meets the qualifications of an urban at-risk environment, and that is an environment where the majority of students within the school are free and reduced lunch status. We will conduct this qualitative study through a case study approach where we will take that social capital framework and determine if those strategies, the environment aligned with curriculum, are present in the environment. We will do this by conducting interviews of the administrative team. We will conduct interviews of the principal as well as the assistant principal, and if there is a dean in place, that will be conducted as well. Each will receive one interview. The goal is to conduct an interview within this case study, and we will use a school within a northern Indiana district, again, that is high urban population with a high, over half of the student body that receives free and or reduced lunch. During these interviews, members of the leadership team, that's principal, assistant principal, will be engaged in structured interviews that again will follow the qualitative procedures. Through these interviews, we will find common themes and beliefs that emerge that we can then align upon our adopted social capital framework that has been discovered through the literature that we have engaged upon. So again, as we recap, the methodology components that are in place are a qualitative, case study, and we will interview members of the school's leadership team. This will be measured against our social capital framework that lists strategies that are present in not only curriculum, but also the environment. Together, we will determine if both curriculum and environment lead to a social capital cohesion. If they are present, we can state that a school is meeting what has been prescribed through literature. And if we find that the school is not meeting the recommended cohesion model, then we might offer suggestions that correspond with what literature then suggests. There are very good videos that do give great explanation of what social capital is and how that social capital framework exists and can work for our schools.